All right, family. All right. And all right. What's going on out there, y'all? July the 3rd, right? Family, welcoming us who are the almost 1,300 plus strong, who love, believe in, hope, seek, hunger, thirsts, and searching for that which is a different view. Family, welcome in. I want to remind folks where you can find the podcast. You can find it here on YouTube at A Different View 80. We are on Apple, Spotify, and Pandora, all at A Different View. The artist's name is KJ. You will find it there. We've got our webpage up and running to which we've had up on Facebook. It's A Different View Looking Forward, right? Because that's what we're doing out here. We're looking forward, family. Okay. The thing has started. The plane is off the runway, as they say. We flying high in that altitude, right? The train been on the track chewing for a little bit, and we been looking forward, family, right? There are some things to talk about as normally with life. As I've heard it said, living this is an interesting way that I heard it said, living in the hells, right? Because again, there's a certain thought out in the community, out in the family, in the village, right? In the camp, depending on your ethnicity, how you will say groups of people, where heaven and hell deal in the best or worst stuff. We're talking about like right here, not like, and I'm not, again, as a Christian, we are not, don't go wild here. Okay. We do believe in a place beyond where we are. Okay. However, we do not on this podcast, like we had talked about, we don't knock down the black woman. We ain't doing that. Puff Daddy just got off on the from a governmental standpoint, from a criminal justice law standpoint, on doing that to Cassie, but we don't do that over here, family, right? Telling y'all about watching out for the do nothing, shiftless folks, family. They mean to only hurt you. It's time folks start taking a look at all the opposite things Massa has taught us about. I've gone on record saying that before. What they have taught you, family, you need to look the opposite direction. Do you think your body can sustain itself on less than 3 meals a day? If you are eating healthy and correctly, paying attention to, again, the name of the game is know thyself. There's no real topic today. We're just going to, the topic is talking about different things that have happened lately in society. A couple of them got to do with relationships. Of course, it's hot out, family, right? And relationships have definitely kicked off. Most people have themselves a summer flings, as they say. You got a whole lot of stuff, and we ain't knocking nobody over here. We'll leave that for other people to do. It says a whole lot of people. We're good at doing it. Okay. But over here, we will offer guidance, right? Because I think that's the part that's missing, like we've talked about with adults to their not only to their children but also to children, to the youth. When you're acting worse than them, how can you train them? How can you teach them? How can you lead and guide them? You can't. And that's why you have a lot what you have going on. Shout out to the firefighters over in Idaho one time, right? That had come across my feed here. So we gotta offer our prayers, our condolences to the first responders. Of course, we talked about the first responders, right? I forgot where it was, but the first responders being some black folks. As people call black folks African Americans, right? That's something you can look up. But again, shout out to the first responders, okay? Firefighters, policemen, people keeping us safe. Unfortunately, we don't know how to set off fireworks properly anymore. We play too many stunts And we feel like we're Daredevil out here from Marvel Comics, family. Listen, when you light them things, we just saying what it is. You do what you want, right? But when you light them things, you clear the hell out the way. We're just saying, everybody knows, man. Listen, I'm from New York, right? My family's from the 5 boroughs, right? Okay. You go a little further west. We all got family from the south. This is just a migration pattern, right? Because of how masses operated with people groups. So everybody got a similar tale, especially the dark tan, brown skin tone folks of the planet, right? We all got the same similar tale. Varies in certain degrees, but it's all the same mess. We know how it gets down, right? Especially in New York when it comes to firework lighting, okay? Who know about Negro chasers? I ain't gonna say what we actually say in the village. We just gonna say it that way, right? Who knows about that, right? Because literally we taking fireworks, right? Lighting them off and chasing each other with them, right? We all know about block parties and such, family. Please keep these things. Listen. The man wants to see you act a fool. She wants to see you act stupid. So they have an excuse to enact their hate and torture towards you. Don't give them the excuse, right? So we can put on the music. We can put on that good cookout music, man. That's part of black culture. I don't know what nobody talking about, man. Them barbecues celebrating freedom and whatnot, and love and life and family. Yeah, that's part of the bedrock of black culture right there. However, cut down the family fights. If we can't have open conversations, this goes for each other's people groups, by the way, because the same thing get funky right around this. No different than Thanksgiving. It gets a little weird. It's cooler at that point, but the same thing remains. We're gonna have to be open-hearted on the conversations we're having, family. Whether you're talking about, I'll use a term from the Boondocks because I like the show. Whether we're talking Uncle Ruckus in your family, whether you're talking about Granddad, right? Whether you're talking about Riley or Huey in your family, let's keep shout out to Boondocks one time. I've been seeing those two actors, Stink Meaner and Uncle Ruckus, popping up on my feed lately, man. It just brings me back to seasons 1 and 2, man. That show's so eye-opening. But understand, y'all, that again, art imitates life. So what you see on there, man, let's not turtle shell, family. Let's look at literally what's going on in our village, the various villages across the planet. Let's be safe with the fireworks, y'all. Right? Same thing with the pool activity. Folks drowning all the time. Again, it's just a little talk on it. It's hot out, okay? That's what we had talked about last time. It's hot out. This is the activity, y'all, right? Again, we're all going to choose what we're going to do. And we're going to do good cannonballs and flips. And we're going to look like Olympic-style swimmers and divers and whatnot, right? It's good to have fun, family. Again, like we do in the open of our podcast, it's have fun, okay? But let's not miss the gravity of this. So, that's just a little bit on that. Talking about Cassie, right? Shout out to you, sis, man. Shout out to the women who have to deal with the male in their life, okay? Two of the brothers on here, right? And when we say brothers, we ain't just talking about black folk. We're talking about men. We're talking on man time. Family, right, of men. We got to get better where it comes to how we treat the women in our lives, right? And this is going to be a twofold conversation. And we may cut it short because we know people drunk, people high. Folks having a good time, okay? What you saw with Sean Combs, family, Puff Daddy, right? We all do this Diddy thing, but those who know going back into the 90s, Puff Daddy, right? Is the criminal justice system working at work? I've had this conversation multiple times. I've had it with my wife, had it with friends. Shout out to you, honey, by the way, right? Celebrating 4th of July weekend, man. This how we do. This is how we do over here, right? We get the grill going, right? Whether it's in the house or outside. And I'm grilling, family. That protein is going, right? Of course, we incorporate what we like to call some of the no-nos. And this does not mean I'm Muslim. But Lord, when you talk about in a black family, I guess if you were going to do it certain parts of the year, this would be one of the times of the year where you would, do less of it throughout the rest of the year, and this would be the part where pork would be up in the game, right? So that sausage and them ribs, right? Lord knows the man got you eating bacon night and day. So we can't even put it in. We can understand. Shout out to our Muslim brothers and sisters one time, man. See, again, you have to make certain distinctions on your health, family. So we don't do like this, oh my goodness, they're so weird, because nah. When you start understanding what's going on with the food sources out here, there's certain things that we should and should not be eating, right? This is just in the mental. See, before anything happens with you in the gym or anywhere else, family, and we're all subject to this. Y'all know about my own journey. I'm going through my own. I don't make it like super public and all that kind of thing. Different strokes for different folks. But you have got, if you want to lose weight, if you want to be healthy, while protein is necessary, certain ones you got to have at the top of the list, like we talk about with different people groups, and there's certain ones you got to have at the bottom of your list, okay? And again, a lot of things that have high fat content and stuff like that, that's got to be at the bottom of the list, okay? I know I know we give up with healthy fats and omega-3s and all that kind of thing, then it's time we start having more fish. Shout out to the pescatarian in the family. Have that fish, okay? I know, a lot of people, I know. But in that salmon and other fish that have high omega-3 content, that's healthy for your life, okay? For your body. So, a buddy of mine had put a thing up on Facebook, and we've already had this conversation. So it's mute. It's kind of it's not a mute point from the fact of the truth of the content. It's mute from the fact of people are either going to believe a thing or they're not. Fine. Has the nation, nationality, when we talk about it, right? Same thing we do with money and many other things. Have we gone too far, right? Has it turned into, is it more of an idol, right? When you look up the word idol, it deals with a thing of which we reverence, like a deity. Now, and that we worship, right? Worship, we have already talked about in this podcast, by definition, okay? We're talking what words the man give us to say. Because again, nobody is really, especially for the dark, brown, and tan skin tone folks, you're not talking your language. You're talking theirs. All right? This is part of the nationality thing, by the way, which we all celebrate, when it comes up to Memorial Day, because we switch out what actually Memorial Day was for some national stuff, or some Americana mess, I should say it that way, or some United Statesian type stuff, right? Probably better said that way. Again, we got to come to the distinction. People put America on stuff that's really United States, y'all. We're just saying what it is. It's not nitpicking. This is the mental game Massa got you going, so you keep supporting their stuff, right? Idol. What are we putting up on the top in our minds, in our hearts and such, y'all? And clearly, this thing is less about the people, and it's more about governmental position and authority, so on and so forth. And again, the last I checked, especially for our Christian brothers and sisters who support Master so much, okay, we can have conversations in a respectful manner, y'all, but this is where I'm coming from. This is what I'm seeing, all right? Christians support Massa way too much. Listen to how I said Massa, not the master. We support Massa way too much. We use the Bible to make sure he or she stays on top. And that is not, when you read throughout Scripture, that ain't even close to the message. Ain't even close. When you're talking about respect for authority, respect for power and position, that's when these folks are on their square. And yes, we have levels of grace for people when they quote unquote fall and sin, like as is told to us, to restore those in the spirit of meekness and the idea, the attitude, the air, the heart. That's what spirit's talking about. Essence, life of meekness, right? Not to get too off into this, but it's just to lay down this information here while we're talking about Diddy, right? That everybody goes, that he goes by with most people. But again, us in the hood, we know him as Puff Daddy. Just call him by his government name as we know Sean Combs. The brother has always had issues, family. And this is how we hide these issues. Do you know how that happens in our families? Family. Again, what you see in the street happens in the home first. And we make up excuses for daddy touching his daughter, or mama touching the son, or vice versa. We make excuses. We all do. Listen, how I'm saying is we. Nobody is talking down on nobody. Right? This is just a truth that we have to hold to if you want to be. See, this is the part where you know some folks, as the young people say, is cap. Because they don't want to get better. They're saying it, but they don't really want to. We all do it in different ways. Right? We had talked about this with finances. You can't keep spending and want to save your money. That's not, you're going to have to stop spending. Again, another thing that we all do. We're going to have to take it back to when we was kids in mama's house, and there's only certain things we're spending for as we save our money through chores and all that kind of. We want to take it back to that, family. If you want to succeed in masses, that's the opposite. See, us spending is funding them, not you. So it's like a weekly expenditure thing you got to have for yourself. It's that, and Lord knows they ain't paying you enough for barely that. But I digress. It's food, clothes, gas in your car to get to work, right? And then you take these holidays as highlights to do what you got to do. That's where that should be. Holidays, and also we have to throw in special occasions. Which, shout out to those who've had birthdays here. I rarely do this. I probably should do it more. Shout out to those who have had birthdays here in July, right? Somebody correct me on that. I think the Virgo is July as far as zodiac is concerned. Again, how a person is written in the stars, because that's how good and gracious God above is. This is to our Christian brothers and sisters that have a problem with the horoscope. It does not define you, but it is an example of you in these stars that humans have seen and written down, our Asian brothers and sisters over time, right? You take it for what you want. It's the same thing, got in a conversation with a brother over psychology. The psychology is supposed to be this kind of idea where it's meant to control you. No, it's time for people to find out who they are. You get in that therapist chair. Listen, to each their own. But you get in that therapist chair and start learning this life around you. We're living in the dark, family. You know, as Beyonce, shout out to you, Beyonce Carter. Again, hope you took that shirt off and burned it, sis. But besides the point. Yeah. I don't mean to laugh at the struggle between the races, man. Between so-called black, brown, and tan races. Yeah. Yo. Family, when you sit outside the circle of reality and kind of looking upon it, man, listen, that mess is pseudo. Mass are just pitting people against people to hurt folks. Take that Buffalo Soldier stuff off, man. Don't nobody care about that. Be more concerned with the Tuskegee Airmen. How about that? With your government experimenting on humans. Even much more so our so-called black brothers. And of course, what they like to not say is how after that whole experiment got shut down, they took it on the road. But I digress, right? That was sick for me to find out. Just testing on people. We had talked about this First Nations. Shout out to First Nations one time, man. We talking to Aboriginals here on this planet and in this nation. Shout out to y'all, man. While they sitting here going to do this Europe 2.0 celebration, man, we talking about those who've been here. Now, shout out to y'all one time, right? I'm sorry, family. You if you want to advance yourself, then you're going to have to get involved with those around us that help advance us. And that's the people. This mess with the government is set up for the people. It's not the other way around. I mean, I'm not saying a thing from my conjecture. We're talking about the definitions of all these words we use. Democracy, republic, all these, the judicial system, the legislative system, the executive boards, and all this, it's for the people. But of course, in classic fashion, Master got you looking at it opposite, right? And in the judicial one, which is highly broken because it's meant to support the criminal. It's not meant to support justice. Like we have said on the podcast, justice is just for us, and the us is them, not you. Same thing with that we the people. That we the people, while we thinking and looking at it as a collective, is spoken in double tongue. That we the people is them. See, you don't have to believe it. Again, we don't have to believe these things for them to be true, family. Just look at the results. This ain't because we all lazy and shiftless out here. They don't want to give because they're greedy. And we helped put them there. Your vote, your dollar, so on and so forth, we helped put them there, right? It's unfortunate what happens. There is a thought process in the village here that I got to say. This idea where Puff was set up on some level because he sued Ciroc because they wouldn't cut him in. I got to address this from one big level, because this is another part of this thing that we're going to do with this 4th of July celebration, family. Black folks, we need to start getting our own businesses going. I know they burned them down. I know, like in Tulsa, they burned them down, right? Clearly, we didn't care that much that we had to go shooting each other during the Juneteenth festival in the Greenwood District. But still, we need our own businesses, y'all. A couple of friends of mine have opened their own that I know of. Shout out to y'all, right? In the different places of the world, we're not gonna put their names out there just because I haven't had the conversation with them, so we don't do that, right? We don't blow up people like that. Family, understand though, this is what it's about: supporting each other's businesses. Family, if you can go up in the Asian town, Little Italy, well, whatever our Russian brothers and sisters got going on with it, you can do it with your black brother and sister, right? Again, we're talking the fundamental part of economics. The dollar's got to go around in there a couple times, family, before it goes to other groups, right? This is what we know. So it's time we start spending money. Listen. It's time we start be gracious enough as you have the business open. We holding the business. I understand we put our spin on it, family, right? But to have that thing like Hood Town may be a problem. Listen, we choose what we choose to do. But we're talking about if you want to draw in business. Again, as it talks about in the book of Sirach, sweet words attract many people, family. We're going to have to change up how we look at the thing. That does not mean you lose you in doing the thing. But it does mean you present yourself in a certain way by which you gain people. No different than every other group of people is doing. Okay. So, I mean, that's just that on Puff, man. It's, as soon as I started seeing the charges drop, we already knew. Right? That was a couple days before the verdict came out. You already knew some mess was going down. This next one here that we're going to end on, and we're going to end on it, right? Because we got partying and stuff to do. Nelly and Ashanti. Y'all seen that lately? This is just like a day ago. I think this was yesterday, right? His brother going to say this, and again, hey, fellas, man. I had seen a video with his brother trying to abduct this woman, right? And I apologize for what trigger this might be for some folks who have gone through this. He dragging them off, too. Right on the train tracks. This is in New York. Shout out to the New Yorker one time, man. Right? All these people they hear screaming. Right? I posted it up on my Facebook page. I believe I did put it on the webpage. If I didn't, someone just shout me out, and I will do so for people to see it. It's something you can search online anyway, right? And they get involved. And we all know what happens, right? When men stand on their square and they get involved with these clowns in the neighborhood, things change. And the events for that lady changed, right? Shout out to the brothers, man. All different cultures was in that video, doing what they got to do. We are done, family. Hey. It's a public servant's announcement. Yes. Yeah, hey. For the men out there willing to stand up for their families, we done on this mess out here, y'all. Right? They talk about how there's fatigue with the police dealing with Negro mess. And I can understand with y'all. I can understand it. Most of us in the black community tired with this mess. Right? There's no reason we can't have a cookout without a fight and a shootout and all this kind of mess going on. It's juvenile. As has been truly said in the black community, there's poison and rust, and it's not just in black folks, but it was addressed to them. There's poison and rust in the mind, right? Normally you see it in young folks, but that thing start to creep up into the older men. Let that garbage go. We're one people, right? But we know, just like with Massa, people get drug off by money, power, so on and so forth, as the OJs say, the love of money. Nelly and Ashanti wanted to sit here, and Nelly's like, I ain't gonna change that baby's diapers. This is what this man said. So it prompted me to have the conversation, man. Fellas, we get it. Hey. Do you think the mamas shout out to mamas one time, right? Mother's Day was a couple months ago, but still, there's a chance to talk about it, right? Shout out to mamas. You think they want to change them babies' diapers too, family? No. See, bear one another's burdens. Man, there is something that says something about a man when you can sit there in that filth and that nasty and clean up that baby. Right? We're talking about sowing seeds of love, family. We get it. Maybe you want to put on that N95 mask. You don't have to go in there looking Darth Vader, breathing like and all that, right? Just, you have to go in, little hazmat suit on. I don't know what to tell you, fellas, right? But show love to that baby, man. You sat there with the Teddy Pendergrass on, or the Barry White, the Marvin Gaye, whatever you did. You had your sexual healing going on, and you brought this young one into the world. It's time to take care of him now. It's time to take care of him. You're talking about those Idaho police fighters. This is another attack by a young person. Family, the young people are crying out. That's what you're hearing. It's the same thing. You can see it with older people. Folks is crying out because they're hurting. Because we threw them away and we disregarded them for money and power and position. As they say in the church, devil is a liar, right? And when we speak on the devil, we are not only talking about that which is with the pitchfork and the long tail under the ground somewhere. We are talking about those who, again, the word devil means an adversary. Those that we live above ground can see clearly with our two eyes is an open enemy and very adversarial in the mind that has taught us to disregard the family dynamic, and it will not work that way. The maker did not work it or make it that way. Right? So brothers, we're gonna have to put on our good gloves, right? Diaper changing bibs. I don't know what we're gonna have to do, right? But no, it can't be said, but we're not willing to take care of our young ones, man. This kind of, it's all hands on deck, just like in the community, in helping to clean it up and keep it up. It's all hands on deck, y'all. Right? So that's what I got for y'all today. Nothing too much. Again, I hope y'all enjoy your 4th of July weekend, right? Shout out these lands we live on. I ain't worried about that government. Not until some massive things change with it on how they look at and deal with people, right? And again, most of them government officials is coming from our neighborhoods. So as our neighborhoods and communities change, so goes the government, because it's for the people, right? That's what I got for y'all today, family. Thank you very much for walking this road with me. And as always, and until next time, look to find the beauty in a different view.